Raised by Wolves. We're back just talking some fun comments, going through some of our old videos, reading the comments, and man, we love this conversation. We want to keep it rolling, and let's go, John.
All right, everyone. Welcome back to AsArt with Nick and John. So we're going to be continuing to do some comment and conversation videos all the way until we get season 3. We don't know how long that is, but we're going to, I don't know if you call this picketing, but we're going to keep the conversation going until we do get it.
We might even have a special guest too in the future.
Ooh, I wonder who that's going to be. Ooh, we'll have to wait and see.
I just want to let you guys know we're also covering other shows like Severance on Apple Plus, which is not very much like Raised by Wolves, but there's a lot of questions that need answering and a lot of theories going on, which makes it fun for conversation.
Yeah, really hardcore science fiction, really cool, thought-provoking material. It's a little bit slower burn because it's not an alien planet with like really surreal type stuff happening, but it's really fun subject matter and really good actors and actresses in it. Really good stuff. And
it's
really
probably
beautiful
done
shot
now too, so if you want to binge it, it'll be a great show to binge.
Yeah.
So, and by the way, we have some samples in. Just go to asart.space. That's where the links will be when they're available. I think they might be available now, but if not, subscribe to our channel because we'll be posting, we'll be doing videos. We might even just do a special video just letting you guys know that this cool art project is completed, and we're super excited.
All right, so let's jump in here. So again, disclaimer, if we butcher names, we apologize, but here we go. And spoilers, of course, yes. All right, Billy Sartori. I'm calling it, this show is so wild. I see grandmother having a child with father. Also, it'd be cool if it turned into a freaking dragon. Yeah, I mean, at this point, I can't say anything sounds too far-fetched. Obviously,
that would be crazy.
Grandmother having a child with father. Yeah, not mother.
And then grandfather's going to get pissed and come out of the core.
Yeah, the relationship between grandmother and father is going to be interesting. I mean, at some point...
It's going to be fun with a lot of jokes.
Yes, it's going to... Yeah. It's going to be a fun one just because...
Mother's trapped.
We know... I mean, has he been programmed to be attached to mother, or is that just his...
There was that scene...
Developed humanity.
After they found the box with the eyes. And they were like talking, and he's like, "I'm very much dedicated to mother."
Yeah,
he was like, "Yo, I'm taken," kind of thing, you know. And so I think it would be really hard to break that because that's programming. Even though he is becoming more emotional and more human-like. Yeah. But I think he's going to remain dedicated.
Yeah, but I mean, is that a programming thing, or is that just over time his humanity kicking in? I mean, when they came to the planet, their mission was to make sure the children remained. Was that necessarily, were they committed to each other as far as
maybe that? Because maybe that's the way Campion, the Campion that programmed them that way, maybe because they were both there, right? They were both there in the flashbacks. Yeah, they were both there at the same time. Yeah.
Oh, I think I'm not sure.
I know they were for sure when he put her in the pod.
All right, so Obig T88.
Thank you for commenting on our Severance video.
Yes, thank you. All right, so the android is in a birthing box. Showrunner confirmed. So the androids of old may not have participated willingly, forced to have snake babies. So so Nick and I have been going crazy. Like, what's in the box? What is going on with this weird snuffleupagus looking guy with in the box with the milk coming out? We keep calling it milk. It's fuel blood, but with the milk coming out. Yeah. Like, what's going on with that? And so I guess according to this, the showrunner has confirmed that was the birthing box for the snakes coming out of the android. So that's good to have confirmation on, because like, what the heck is this all about? The only thing I don't like about this is I don't like that you have to get confirmation for stuff outside of the show and supplemental stuff. It's nice when you get answers in the show. I hope that's confirmed at some point, because that's weird that you would only get answers if you go way out of your way to seek that out. Like, I don't particularly love that.
I think they were trying to tell that through the first season, though. It's like you see the flashback. She holds up the head of the android. It's like, it's almost like prepping, like, hey, this is what the android, this is what happened to the android before you. Now it's going to happen to you, kind of thing. You know what I mean? It was just kind of like, I think that kind of visual prep for it. So
yeah. All right, so Anthony Evans says, the artifacts are all over the place, like woolly mammoth bones. Yeah, I mean, artifacts are all over. I mean, it's like someone just was in space sprinkling a little bit of there, a little bit of there. It's just like, okay, here we go.
Yeah.
Which means this was either a very populated planet at some point, or I don't know. Like, it seems like they're everywhere. How would they have gotten everywhere?
Someone had to put them there. It's like a Johnny Appleseed, but of it's like this one guy went around like skipping around and just putting stuff in random places. But
Tom Bombadillo, you know. It's like, all right, so we have David Harrell saying, "I wish I could chime in and talk with you guys on this. I am fascinated by the show." Well, David, clearly this works out for you because we're reading your comment right here. The conversation in the comments is what we love, and everybody that's been commenting, we pretty much read everything. We don't comment to everything, physically type in everything. We don't read everything, but we do go through all this stuff, and so it's fun to be able to actually,
we got to figure
hear that
out.
you're as excited about this
too. That will be fun down the line. We just don't know how to do that.
Yeah, that's gonna be a trickier one. Yeah. Yeah.
I would love to. I think it would be so much fun. I have to figure out where to start.
All right, let's see. So Sarah Judy, also thank you for commenting in the Severance conversation as well. So I have no one to talk to about the show, so it's nice having this community to go down the Raised by Wolves rabbit hole with. Every time I listen, my theories change. However, the one I am still sticking with is that the humans who used to inhabit the planet were devolved into the merman sea creatures. That is why they were drawn to the baby and take it. Yeah, you know what? Again, this is one of the things we love the most about the show is the conversations we've been able to have. Because Nick and I, we do enjoy nerding out about this stuff, and obviously expert Kyle is nerding out on this show with this as well. But aside from that, in our circle of friends, I don't know too many other people that watch this regularly.
Yeah.
And so it's fun to have all of you guys to, kind of just really go down the rabbit hole with this, like you said. And, I mean, the cool thing as far as what you're saying about the sea creatures and also, the ground-based creatures, it seems like they've given us enough concrete information that I think we can safely assume that that's what they've evolved into, especially with this last episode.
And I'm curious if the two different voices, that's the theory I have. Do you have that theory too? Do you think there's two different voices or entities or something that are kind of competing against themselves, but one might be responsible for the water-based creatures, the other one might be responsible for the land-based creatures? So it could be like, in DC Comics, how like Wonder Woman and the Athena always fights like Aquaman and his aqua guys underneath I don't know the names. I'm not a comic book expert when it comes to DC, but like they always have like wars against land and sea creatures. So it could be something like that, maybe, where it's like, we have the power of the sea, we have the power of the land,
So right now, if you hadn't mentioned that theory of like, okay, it seems like some of the messages that the different characters are getting are contradictory. Maybe there's two different voices. I wouldn't have thought that. They've only referenced to it as one voice, but maybe you're just a little bit more insightful. It's like, man, these two things sound different. So maybe that's a big reveal we're going to get later on. Oh, for me, I do like the idea. Yeah, I mean, maybe, I don't know, but I do like the idea that, different sects of, SECTS, like sects of belief, are interpreting the same voice differently. Some view it as a religious way. I like that idea, but at this point, it's like a lot of different things. Like, I just feel like we don't have enough information to know that for sure. Overall, I'm assuming it's one voice because we've never had it referred to as another one, but maybe that is a reveal we're going to get in a little bit. All right, so Jacky Katz says, okay, here's another theory. What if the planet is...
Another theory.
What if the planet is protecting itself from humans? Humans are the virus of planet killers, and like a forest fire cleanses itself from the humans. This is why when the humans do evolve, the planet goes dormant because it's no longer threatened by the human tendencies to destroy themselves, and planets because they are simpler and no longer have humanity as we know it. Maybe the de-evolved humans are like original humans in Garden of Eden before Adam and Eve ate the fruit and now have knowledge or intelligence. Yeah, I mean, the voice, the entity could be anything. I mean, I like Nick's theory that some of the rest of you have pointed out too, where Campion and Father almost said when they were talking about grandmother, with her and technology, we could build, like cities and blah blah blah, and then the next logical step would be a planet. And you see this like this hexagonal polygon like type forms all over, where it almost feels like it could be a constructed planet. And then you see the core, it's not a regular planet, And so if that's the case, maybe there is some type of actual intelligence to the planet itself, and it's not just like an entity as far as like an, I guess it still would be an AI, but it's like, I keep thinking almost there's something, trapped that is an actual being, but maybe it's nothing like that at all. It's very interesting.
Yeah, I like the virus. It's kind of like the Matrix, right? Humans are the virus,
I like your Mr. Anderson. Mr. Anderson.
But I like that because, like,
awesome.
it could be like he needs the humans destroyed so he can protect himself. I mean, it can go that way too. It's he's trying to either escape or he's trying to seclude himself away from. He's like, get away! I'm creating my planet. Stay away.
All right, so we have Fabulous, not Fabulous, but Fabulous 514. A good prediction could be how many episodes will it take to take down Grandmother? Because I'm sure no one expected the trust to be taken down by episode 3.
That's crazy how fast.
My own prediction would be 4 episodes before Mother gets saved somehow. Yeah, you know what? I was really disappointed that the trust went away so quick because I thought that was such a cool idea. I thought that its decision making was fairly sound overall. I mean, it's like, okay, it is killing off certain people, but it was making good decisions versus I think Mother's reasoning is not as sound as far as like the greater good type thing. But you're right though. I mean, by episode 3, I would have never have guessed that. I thought that was going to be a much longer season thing. It was presented as this big entity type thing, and then all of a sudden it's gone. Like Nick said, turned off. For Grandmother, Nick, do you have any guesses?
It would take to take her down. Episode 1. No, 1 episode. No, I think she's gonna be the arc for the season. Even if they kick her out of the tribe and she comes back, or they put her back in the cave and they dismantle her, and then someone else to put her back together in the next
millennia. Kick her out of the tribe. It sounds like Survivor, the TV show, reality show.
It's funny. Like, I hate comparing this show to Lost, and I really do. But like, there's a character in Lost
there's solid
who like works for Dharma or the others, right? And she kind of infiltrates the camp because they're trying to get information and stuff like that, where Mother could just kind of be like getting information to do whatever tests and stuff they need to do to please the higher power. So
yeah, you know what, I don't know how many episodes into the season, but episodes of content wise, I think 4 episodes doesn't sound too far off from what's being said here. It might be like the Serpent, though, like Nick was saying. The Serpent became a huge arc that we didn't get until the very end of the season, but the Serpent was there a little bit, then it was resolved. Then it just kind of was dormant for a long time, and then it came up again, and so it was kind of sectioned off and sporadically
like
got some more information,
right? Like even when they land, right? It's like, okay, they dealt with the humans, and then like humans, what I mean? Like it was like a boom, boom, boom for season 1.
So I don't know about full episodes of content, but as far as I think it's going to be stretched out, but I think, that'd be interesting to see. Yeah. Let us know.
We should do a poll maybe.
Yeah, Steve. How long is Grandmother going to last?
That would be hilarious.
All right, and then we start who's going to take down Grandmother and what inning. It's like really sports gambling. Yeah. How is Grandmother going to be taken out by Campion, by Father? Yeah. All right, so Barbara Wagar, if I get the name wrong, I apologize. The leeches won't stop the transformation because they were found on the mer people and it wasn't doing anything to help them get out of the acid sea anytime soon. Yeah, you know what? I wasn't sure maybe that was helping them hold on to the last remnants of their humanity to where they still had their... Maybe that's why it came up for the baby, or maybe why they still have certain traits left over. Obviously, the leeches are important enough, and it's notable that they're found on the mer people. I assume that's not just a coincidence, but the point of them, and if it's
right.
helping them hold on to anything,
I don't remember leeches on the other human, the land-based creatures.
Oh, that's true. I didn't think about that. Yeah. But then again, they're devolved just about as much, so maybe Barbara's completely right. It's not helping them hold on to anything more. Well, I don't know.
I guess we really haven't had a good interaction with the de-evolved creatures, right? We know the ones on land like to attack, and we know the swimming ones they kind of attack, but that that mother one was very concerned with the baby, where she wasn't even like attacking and stuff. You know what I mean? So maybe one's more human than the other. Maybe that's different
Yeah,
stages too, mentally. Like, yeah,
and she didn't kill Tempest. She just took the
yeah,
baby.
it's true.
I mean, now granted, it was clear that the other colonists were afraid of the mer people. I don't know if they had reason for that or they're just scared. And we clearly don't know what pulled that huge like canister into the water earlier on in the season. We're assuming that wasn't mer
it's like
people
tons of
because
them going,
they're way too small.
Ho,
Heave ho, hi ho, hi ho. Yeah. All right, so Chicago Box says, where did Campion, the creator Campion, get Father? Is there a story there too? We know very little of Father in comparison to the other androids. Yeah, you know what? I tend to want to take the simpler path of this. Is like, okay, he's just a generic model that was easier to get a hold of, and that's why he's not mentioned, because you just grabbed him. The other theory that maybe Chicago Box is putting forth here is that maybe that's a bigger thing that we just haven't gotten information on. That's going to be a reveal for later on. That's been hinted at, like, oh, you're the toughest generic model there's ever been. Like, wow, you seem almost extraordinary for being a generic model. So, I mean, there's definitely things for either way. Do you think, Nick, do you think he's just a normal model? Do you think there's something special about it? We're obviously just guessing.
What's cool is it can go any way. And I think no matter which way they go, it's going to work. You know what I mean? Like, he can still be the normal guy that we love with his jokes, or he could be the next stage of evolution, or not evolution, but technology, of AI technology, or whatever you want to call it. Like, he could be, maybe he can be transformed like the serpent was transformed by eating a fruit or consuming something. You know what I mean? Maybe he'll get a power up. He'll get some like long, like blonde hair, like Super Saiyan Kamehameha, so never know.
Yeah, you know what? I like the idea that he's just a more simple model. He's not crazy advanced technology like mother or grandmother, but I like the idea that he's no less valuable or important to what he provides to the to the children and to the colony. And in fact, in some cases, not having that power makes him more important, because he has to go about solving problems in a more logical, less I guess
it's why we like Batman, right? Superman's like too perfect. He's too powerful. We like Batman because he gets beat up and he has to figure out a way to get around everything.
All right, so 231, isn't this a lot of fun? That's the longest name I've ever seen on YouTube. That's cool, though. 231 is a lot of fun. All right, so I don't think Vril is coming back. In an interview with Decider or Writer? I think it's Writer/Decider. Aaron Guzikowski said Vril, the android, can't be resuscitated, which makes sense in the context of the show's production, considering child actors can grow up very quickly and androids don't. You know what? Both for practical reasons and for story reasons, I think this is good and works well. I like her character a lot, but you know what? If everybody just keeps getting brought back, it takes away from the stakes and the impact of a death, in some cases. And they said, she Campio said, "Oh, you're going to be okay." And she goes like, "No, once I'm down, like it's going to be, it's going to be permanent." And if she couldn't be brought back, then why would he buried her and not tried? Or, the radiation leakage and things like that. Like, it would make sense that she's gone. And I think she is, but I did like her character. What about you, Nick?
I don't know. I mean, the actor might be gone. Her model, her body, her skeleton might be gone, but doesn't mean they can't put her processor in something else.
Yeah, it definitely depends.
A robot can probably withstand radiation. Mother can probably go through the eye, pull out the cord.
I'm still having nightmares about that, man. Just like the goo of the eye, the tear ducts. I'm like, oh, it's a rough way to go,
I understand.
Man.
Yes, the actor so young and she's a kid. I understand that. So but nothing says you can't put a USB stick and transfer the data.
Then again, we're going to be running into this with all the other child actors anyway. I mean, Campion is, looking older by season 2.
There might be a major time jump too. Mother could have been in there
especially
for years.
Yeah, I mean, especially knowing that season 3 is not greenlit yet. It's going to be a while before we get.
Which could be cool because it's like everyone's forgotten about her.
That could be fun. Yeah, if they play into that could be a cool thing.
She's just a memory.
Yeah. If they use that to their advantage, that could be great. All right, so Angel says, okay, so the person or the thing that lured Marcus to the snake bones in the first season, we never saw again. So I think Marcus is on his way to become that, or he's on the process of being like Soul, because Soul said in the simulation that he was once human, that he is many things. I don't know. I might be thinking too much. I think we're all thinking too much about the show. But yeah, so the person or thing that lured Marcus to the snake bones in the first season. Do you remember what lured him to the snake bones in the first season? I don't remember.
I think it's talking about when he had the first vision and he saw the stars through the eyes of the snake bones. And that's when he had the first vision. I think the vision was to also stab her. Remember? And he like had blood on his hand. Do you remember that, John? Okay. But remember he had the whole vision that he had a killer. And
that's right. I do remember that part.
And so, I understand the core though, like, or Soul being a human, maybe through experiments or trying to enlighten himself to become the perfect being, where he maybe merged his brain with the machine, or it's 50-50 or what, or whatnot, where he's trying to become the most elite version of AI technology program, or which is becoming a planet. I mean, it was very interesting, that line, because it could mean a lot of different things, and we kind of know whoever impregnated Mother is either the soul or voice. We know something's going on with the voice, so it's yeah. I believe he could have been human, because the whole, I don't know. I understand. I'm thinking about this too much right now.
All right, so
short.
Yes. So we have Berserker saying, "The sword will lead you to the tree." In season 1, when Marcus and Sue were getting it on.
Oh, I think this is what we were just talking about. This is what happened underneath the cave and everything.
Okay. He had a vision of himself stabbing Sue with Mother's soul.
With that knife.
So the scalpel. Yeah. The scalpel was the sword and Sue was the tree. This show messes with us by having different characters perceive the prophecies in their own way. Yeah, you know what? That's one fun thing about prophecy is, okay, how's it interpreted? How's it going to go through? And, the characters have vocalized this to us. When Paul and Marcus were in the tank, they're talking about, Paul was saying, oh, maybe the serpent's going to be the sword. It's like, and then we see Marcus floating upside down. Kind of looks like a sword. We as an audience are thinking this through, and then the characters are doing that as well. And I think that's always a fun thing when you're going on that journey with the characters in the same way. You don't have more information than they do for the most part, and they don't have more information than you, magically through, non-logical means. I think that makes it really, really
it's
fun.
a trip, because that vision, right? Like there was something that Sue was going to be sacrificed at some point, and they were making love at the time of this vision, and love was Sue's not downfall, but love is what led to everything that led to the tree. So I mean,
yeah.
Ooh, yeah, it can go deep. It can not be deep. It can be nothing at all, and it's raised by wolves.
Raised by
Sue in
the
tree.
All right, so Benny Poon says, if the show wanted to portray a realistic chase scene between Campion and the Serpent, it'd be extremely difficult because the Serpent can fly and Campion can run. Yeah. Not saying it's impossible that the Serpent was just trying to warn Campion, just saying the scene could have come across that way because of limitations of filmmaking. Yeah, you know what? That's always a hard, and this is a very good point. Like, I tend to try and look at things, and I'm sure you guys have noticed, I tend to look at things more from a technical filmmaking standpoint when I'm trying to understand why they did something a certain way. It's like, okay, is that to lead us as an audience? I'm not thinking of as the characters in the story. I'm thinking typically more from, okay, filmmakers trying to convey this to the audience. And then on the flip side, which is fun, Nick, I think, is usually thinking, okay, this is the characters. And so the two of us together, I think, are able to give a pretty good view.
It's tough. It's really tough, though, because you're trying to... Yeah, because we know sometimes, there's limits to VFX and stuff and shots and budgets constraints where,
But in this case especially, I mean, the foliage cover of the trees wasn't very high. The Serpent's just kind of strolling behind them, just like, not firing or anything. Yeah.
Here's Johnny. We're referencing so many different movies right now.
Yeah. But, I mean, he was dead, and either he was toying with him, and just being a mean younger brother or whatever. Or
it's like how orca whales they like totally just like once the seal's dead, they like hit it out of the water and they just keep playing with it like it's like not a big
like
deal.
A dog with a toy, or anything else. Yeah, but that's a good point. It might just be storytelling limitations too. Okay, we need to show the serpent chasing Campion. We need to see Campion in the shot, so we can't have the tree cover completely covering. But that also shows us that the serpent could have easily killed Campion. So it's like how do you portray that?
It's true.
It's kind of tricky. Yeah, that's a good point though, Benny. That's a good point. All right, so we have Alt Doom says number 7 had an enormous energy field around it that was killing foliage. Oh, this is the answer to our question. Number 7 was not trying to damage the foliage or kill Campion. It became weaponized and everything, but it didn't really understand what was happening to it. Imagine a piece of radioactive metal suddenly became sentient. That is number 7. There was no malice, awareness, or evil intent present. I mean, number 7 did not look happy when Mother tried to, ultrasound it with, her crazy, voice or whatever.
Maybe he was just like, I love you. And it's like, yeah. I love you, Mom.
But that being said, it's like, okay, yeah.
He's only
Mom,
6 months old.
You were thinking about
old, right? He's only 6 months old.
Yeah.
Old, I don't know what I said.
But the alternate argument to that would be, well, the snake was flying around killing people, so it definitely wasn't completely just innocent. It was on purpose going around and taking people out.
Yeah, it didn't really take people out though, did it?
Yeah,
the tank, right?
Oh yeah, the exploded in tanks, and it was exploding other people. Right. Yeah, so I mean,
it's like a big baby. I want to play. It's like
I mean, it goes back to a nature nurture. It goes back to a nature nurture thing too. I mean, it's okay. You have a pit bull, you beat the thing. Okay, it's probably gonna be mean. You're sweet to it, like our pit bull. It's like a sweet dog. So it's like
the dog from Sandlot.
That's right. Hercules. I did Hercules. I did Arnold Schwarzenegger. I meant to do James Earl Jones, but I can't do.
If you haven't watched the first
Hercules
Arnold Schwarzenegger movie, Hercules in New York, oh my gosh, watch it. We did a fun review on it. We'll link it here, but
the review is not going to give you
watch it.
Good enough. You have to rent it on. You need to be able to get access to both.
Yes.
Audio channels so you can hear the English dubbed version, and then Arnold's original.
A lot goes into it. We explain it in the video. Okay.
Yes. All right. So Edgar Hernandez wondering, what if it's not the humans that make the entity awaken, but it's the androids? Yeah, I mean, grandmother was blaming the humans, and so our assumption is it's the
can't trust her,
but.
Can't trust no one, John.
Yeah, so I mean that's another one of those things where hopefully
you can't even trust the trust.
We don't need.
He'd be betrayed. Remember Paul with the exploding snake? You can't trust anything.
We don't need all the answers for grandmother, but again, if father brought back this android from death and back to life, you think you'd ask a few preliminary questions. So, where you been?
Why were there scratches on the cave?
Yeah. All right, so Keen James. I love Philip Pullman.
That's the author of His Dark Materials.
So we're getting some mixing and matching. Yeah, so Nick was, I think, making some reference to His Dark Materials. We've really enjoyed covering that show. We have season 3 coming out.
I think they are wrapping up filming right now, too.
Excellent, excellent. We're going to be looking forward to that. They filmed season 1 and 2 back to back. It's going to be interesting because the kids didn't age much in that. They're going to have aged a little bit for this next season, but we're looking forward to that. I think it's only supposed to be 3 seasons. So
I know, but they might split the last one. It's so funny. I went back just to rereading the last book. I'm like, there's so much content here. Please cover it all.
Good. Nothing wrong with that. But yeah, we will definitely be talking about His Dark Materials because we do love that show. And Expert Kyle is a huge fan of that as well. Nick and Expert Kyle have read the books. I'm just a show nerd, but maybe we'll get in the books at some point in time. All right, guys. So we are going to continue in more videos as time is going on. Again, we want to keep the Raised by Wolves conversation going. We may have We already have it kind of preliminary planned. We're not going to tell you what it is yet, but we have some really outside special guests going to be joining us, which is going to be really fun and really kind of big for us. So please stay tuned. But these comment videos, honestly, are super fun for us. We love the community conversation. This is as much fun as the show for us. And we've had some people say the same thing. And we want to keep that going. So this has been really fun. So please let us know down below your thoughts on the comments that listeners have left and also your further comments. And we'll keep this conversation going. Check out AsArt.space for all the audio and video links for all the different type of content we've covered. We're getting into more science fiction with Severance on Apple TV Plus and all kinds of other stuff coming up. So thank you very much for watching, and we'll see you on the next AsArt. Raised by wolves for life. Yeah.
I imagine you like shaking soda cans, like.